Welcome back to Armchair Pundits. Today we have me, James, we have Yao,
What's up?
we have Cyril,
What's good?
and we have Leon.
Hello.
We've had a very active transfer window and it's coming to a close. We have only 3 or 4 days left and we've had the biggest transfer in Premier League history. We've had some iffy transfers going on where we're not sure why they're moving. We have Balotelli coming in. People wondering, is it the right choice? Is he a bargain? Is it just another Suarez? We have Tottenham fans rejoicing through the sale of Dawson. You got Man United fans wanting more. Liverpool fans still wanting more after a lot of the transfers that have come in. But we'll talk more on that as we go along. So guys, we'll start with you, Leon. Who, in your opinion, has had the best transfer window? Which club?
I think for continuity, you have to say Chelsea. They already had a decent team. They've lost Lampard. They basically got a carbon copy, a much more talented carbon copy in Fabregas, probably a more creative carbon copy in that. They managed to finally get a striker who can score goals, being Diego Costa, who's basically Jobber replacement. They also brought Jobber back, just to kind of, ruffle a few defensive feathers here and there. And they also brought Felipe Luis, who's
Hasn't played yet. Surprised me.
Has surprised me, but Azpilicueta earned his spot for the whole last season. So eventually, Ivanovic or Azpilicueta or one of them is going to get yellow card ban. Maybe that will give Felipe a chance. There's also European games, there's also cup games. So I think Luis Felipe will get his chance at some point, but there's no rush to rush him in because Chelsea's defence is pretty settled. And they've also got Courtois, who's basically a new signing, even though they've had him for a few seasons. They've let him on loan and they've got him back, and he's been selected as first choice and comfortable.
I thought Mourinho was quite honest when they asked him about the Czech thing. Said, listen, we have a guy that is one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the world, and he wants to play. I have to choose: do I play Courtois, or do I not play him and he runs out his contract, then he goes away somewhere? Peter Cech has been great for 10 years. We've got someone else who could be for another 10, 15 years. Not many managers would have blatantly come out and said it's as simple as that.
I think you'll find with Mourinho, if he respects a player, he'll be honest. If he doesn't respect a player, he'll give you all kinds of cock and bull stories about the situation. So I think he has a lot of respect for Peter Cech because he came during that Chelsea revolution, and he was one of the reasons why they were so successful when he first came. So makes sense.
Yeah, your window. What do you think of it? Who's been the most successful team in that window?
Well, it's funny that Lee mentioned Chelsea, because I think in all honesty, most people can't look past Chelsea. I would have to say, probably on a biased view, for once I've been extremely happy with Spurs transfer dealings, because it looks like they're trying to strengthen parts of their squad that weren't strong in the first place. So they've bought I'd say decent left back, or a competent left back that can do a job, has got a full season in the Premiership underneath him. They got it for 8 million, or 10 million if you want to round it up, which I think in today's market, especially with him being a British player, that's a snip. And then they went and bought Eric Dyer, who currently is looking like something special right now, but don't jump the gun on that one because he still has time to mess that up, especially at Spurs. Eric Lamela is looking like a new signing, but that's what you would say after a player who's not really been able to play after his first season. And to be honest with you, it's more the fact that all you're hearing in the transfer window is they're looking at another defender. They've just signed Fazio. So you have to really look at it and say to yourself that this is some good business that's being done. A manager's come in and seen that the defence was a weak point, and has been a weak point, to be honest with you, for many years, and needed sorting out, needed refreshing, and that's what's been done. If it's not Spurs on a bias point, I guess it would have to be Liverpool on the fact that they've done a lot of signings, but time will tell how good those signings are.
Cyril, your view?
I agree with Leon that Chelsea, they've been doing good business for the last few seasons. In terms of strengthening, Man City, they've done really well as well. But he brought Sanya in to give them an option at right back, and plus he can shift into central defence if something does happen to either Company or Di Michaelis.
And they bought Mangala.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
They bought Mangala.
So
I think they've done fantastic.
Yeah, and they bought Fernando as well to help in the DM department, because Yaya Torres started to drift forward and not playing DM much. In terms of Man United, we've made a couple of. We bought 4 what you call major signings. All of them are overpays, in my opinion. So I wouldn't say we've got great value, but we've strengthened a few spots. But the main one that's been missing for a few seasons has still gone largely uncorrected. We still need a solid DM in there who's going to help, who can play alongside Carrick or whatever, and we haven't still got that. We have 4 days left, so maybe something will come out the woodwork. Maybe the dark can still happen, but I'm pleased with Di Maria. I think he's going to give us added creativity, because as Leon made note of, we didn't create a lot of chances against a Sunderland team that wasn't amazing, to be honest with you. Mata's going to have another outlet, someone who's going to make it runs in behind that he can now look to, because we don't have any pace up front that can give us another edge. And we've got Luke Shaw to replace Evra, and we've got Roja to maybe fill in potentially for Village. Depends if we switch back to a 4-4-2. So all in all, it's a mere transfer season for Man United, to be honest with you. It's a mere transfer season, but hopefully the players can gel and we start playing some good football.
Look, for me, I have to echo what quite a few, both or a lot of you have said, to be honest. I think Man City, I think it's been a perfect window for them. What were they lacking last season? A centre-back. They've gone and bought Mangala. Fair enough, he didn't play a minute in the World Cup, but he is...
Did he see a World Cup pitch?
He did not. Even when Saka got injured, they then brought on another first-choice player. He didn't see a minute, but he has proved himself in Europe that he's a capable defender. With Fernandinho, when he got injured towards the end of the season, Man City looked a bit ropey. It's well known at the moment that for some reason Touré's legs are gone. Like, he just does not get around the pitch as much as he used to. Now you can have Fernandinho and Fernando sitting in behind him, and you can say to Yaya Touré, do what you want, because the protection's there. So I think it's been fantastic for them, because they've strengthened themselves. They're physically stronger now, more legs. Sanya, so you've got arguably the number 1 right back over the last 2 seasons in Premier League, and arguably the number 2 right back in the Premier League over the last season, both playing at City. So with Aguero coming on, first touch, scoring goals, that hasn't changed. But you've got a brand new signing almost with Jovetic. Like, we know football, so we all expected a lot from Jovetic last season. Injuries and then form killed him last season, but pre-season he was their best player pre-season. And against Liverpool, he was nothing. He wasn't short. It was just a bit short of outstanding. In all honesty, everything he did was correct. And whether he can bring it forward once the competition really kicks in, who knows? But obviously, Liverpool being my team, I think it's been a good window. I think we've strengthened in all areas apart from 1 or 2, in my opinion. I think we need a second goalkeeper. I don't think Rainey should have been let go. He probably should have been our first choice goalkeeper this season, but that was between him and Rodgers. And DM. The argument has been, does Gerrard need someone around him that is more defensive, number 1, or has the legs that is better than Henderson? For me, a lot of the problems are Gerrard his energy's not there. He doesn't have the legs to do what we want him to do. But on the flip side, he's not there for that. He's there to be a person who starts off quick attacks. So he's supposed to be there to start off long balls to get us forward quickly. But I can't help feeling that if we have, if we'd gone and bought a De Jong, or if we buy, someone else that is actually defensive minded, that it would help our back four settle.
So would you say you prefer Liverpool starting without Gerrard then?
I wouldn't say starting without Gerrard, because Gerrard still has a lot to offer. But I would say that in a tough game, if there was a De Jong next to Gerrard, will be a lot stronger than if there was as good as Henderson was last season. If there was a Henderson next to Gerrard, because you know that De Jong is going to protect your back four. Perfect example. Carragher and Neville pinpointed certain things that happened on Monday Night Football with our last two games, where the defenders didn't close that space. For me, the reason why they didn't close that space because they weren't sure of someone else to cover their back. You look at it, and he pinpointed company running in there, closing that space. Do you know why? Because he knew that Fernando is coming to close that space, because Fernando's that way inclined. So he can go out there, close that space, knowing that what's behind him is going to be shut. If one of our guys does that, Gerrard isn't at that time yet in his defensive midfielder ability to automatically shut that door and run straight in there, which was proved when we conceded with Silva going in behind. Gerrard didn't track the run. He saw it, he thought about it, then he went. Fernando wouldn't have saw it and thought about it. Fernando would be like, that's my man, I'm closing it down. That's why I think we need a real DM for tougher games to lock it down. If we can get that, that will be a perfect transfer window for Liverpool. But all in all, it's been good. But I think Chelsea and Man City have had the best because their teams are now complete. For me, they're complete. So I'll move on to the next point. Who will it be? Is it going to be Chelsea or is it going to be Man City to win the league? Because for me, it's out of those two. Arsenal can do what they want to do. Liverpool can do what they want to do. Man United can do what Tottenham can do what they want to do. The best two teams are Chelsea and Man City.
Well, historically, the best squad does win the league because you're going to have injuries, and they both have amazing squads. When you see that Man City can just bring Aguero off the bench and it's going to make
score
a
first touch.
You know, and
taking you guys for mugs.
And then when you look at Chelsea, you see they got players like Willian who can come off the bench and make a difference.
Drogba coming off the bench.
They got defenders who can come, like Felipe Luis is not getting a game, he was
outstanding.
He was outstanding.
Not even gonna deny
in the best team in our league last season.
It's probably Champions League's left back.
Yeah,
alongside Alaba.
They're so strong right now that me personally, I think it's going to be Man City. I think that they are going to improve on last season because they started off really bad last season in terms of their away records, and I think that they're going to just maybe take it a little bit more seriously. As you said, in certain games they might start with Fernando and Fernandinho, even though currently now Fernandinho is the one who's being benched, but they could potentially start.
Just because the World Cup, he's not fully fit yet.
They could potentially start all three. Defensively, they look very solid. I said the only potential issue they have is whether or not Joe Hart's going to be their starting keeper for the whole season or not. But they have a great replacement.
Because Caballero is an adequate goalkeeper. He's good enough. If Joe Hart goes missing, is it going to be a big problem?
Not really.
It's a big problem when you can't pick out weaknesses in certain teams. But I think Man City are going to do it.
To be honest with you, I would love to say City in this instant, but my gosh, this Diego Costa guy has literally hit the ground like a tornado. 2 goals in 2 games. I can't see him not scoring.
I'll ask you a question. How many shots on target do you think Diego Costa's had?
2.
And he scored from both.
I don't even think it's the fact that he's just scored the 2 goals. He's looked like he played for Chelsea for years.
Yeah,
like
that's my worry.
The first game against Burnley, the way he was linking up with the rest of the team, it was just like this guy had been playing there for years, and it literally was Jobba. Here's Costa meet Jobba. Oh, I'm gonna take your throne back. I'm gonna take it. And he's come in there and he's just adapted to like a duck to water. Perfect system for him.
And to bring Seskin, I don't care what anyone says. Look, you have to understand football and what we are watching here. Arsenal spent 30-40 million on Sanchez, and albeit that Sanchez should be a good signing for them across the season. Kind of like Ozil was a big boost to them. Cesc is an Arsenal man. He would have happily gone back to that team. Wenger wants to be, I'm the boss, you've hurt my feelings, I'm really hurt, don't come back to me, it's over, alright? So because of Wenger's attitude, they have not accepted this guy back. They're going to let him go across the road to West London, to their rivals. Did you see the assist he gave to Sherlock?
Listen,
my goodness.
You'll find it hard to find a better pass than that this season.
People need to realise this, yeah. Cesc Diego Costa, Schürrle, Hazard,
Willian.
No, I wouldn't even say Willian. I'm going to leave until he starts to impress me again. Oscar, because I actually do like that kid. At Chelsea,
Salah as well.
Salah, he's alright. Matic, I mean, to be honest with you, the City team is a very good team, and everyone knows my feelings on BIA, bad intentions are great, okay? But the truth of the matter is, I really think Chelsea, with the tactics and the mind games of Mourinho, now feeling confident that his team can actually do it, I think they're going to nick it.
He doesn't like mind games, as he says in BT Sport. He doesn't do mind games.
Oh yeah?
Okay.
I'll knock him out for saying that.
Okay.
So, who's it going to be?
I'll go for Chelsea.
Leon? Who's
I
it going to
said
be?
Chelsea at the beginning of the season, and I have not changed my mind.
I think it'll be Man City. So we've got 2 Man Cities, 2 Chelseas. Our last point, which we'll go over for the last few minutes, is the talking point of the summer, or of the last week, sorry, Balotelli. Happened quickly. Brendan Rodgers came out and said, I will categorically tell you, we're not signing Balotelli. Was it a ruse? Because there's been talk that they've been talking for months. Was he just throwing everyone off the scent? Is it a calculated risk? Me as a Liverpool fan, I've come to use it. I'm now happy he's there. He can make a difference for us. He can fire us into the top 4. But you guys, it's
For
more,
me,
what do you guys think?
For me, it's a snap call. When you've got players like Shane Long going for 12 million,
What's McCormack for 11 million?
how can you even blow your nose at Balotelli for 16 million? It's free money. It's free money. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. It's the guy's what, 23, 24?
24. Yeah.
His goal record when he starts is actually quite impressive. Actually, the only problem Balotelli has,
If he gets benched, how's he going to react? That's my problem.
is his attitude. His attitude is not good. But so what? When you've got this in the modern transfer market, it's almost like a free roll of the dice. If it doesn't work, you can sell him next season for the same
But
amount.
could he ruin the harmony? That's the main problem. The problem is not his ability. It's can he go in there and ruin the harmony of the team?
There was a man who came to the Premier League, and he went to a certain team, and ruffled a few feathers, so to speak. He then went to Manchester United for 1.2 million. He went to Manchester United for 1.2 million.
I knew it was
Balotelli,
he said that.
Balotelli is an absolute snip. I'm telling you now, the guy may have some issues. The guy just wants to be loved. That's all he wants. He just wants to be loved.
We've got young players around there.
In Liverpool, it's a very family-orientated club. You show him love, he will give you what you want out of him.
Yeah, I see you're rubbing your face. You got something to say. What is it?
You know what? When I heard the rumour that he was going to Liverpool, this was the one time I literally sat there for, if it's any less than 20 minutes, I'm going to call Daniel Levy myself and say, what have you done? What mistake have you made in your life?
We're not big enough for Balotelli.
Look, I don't care how big you are. Yeah? When you hear 60 million, you tell his representative he wants 120k, he will get 120k.
He took a pay cut to 80k.
See, 80k.
80k.
No, he took the tax free.
Basic. That's it. Basic. Before bonuses, it's 80k.
Exactly.
Let me explain this to people. Balotelli can beat the bad boy you want. Suarez was biting guys from about 5-6 years ago.
But he didn't mess up harmony of the squad.
I don't care what Suarez did. He scored he scored goals in the World Cup. He cost Ghana a chance to the semi-finals. Yeah. If you said to me after the World Cup, Spurs want him for 20 million, I say sign that guy immediately. Yeah. If you had told me Balotelli was going for 16 million 2 weeks ago, I would have said sign that guy immediately. There are certain players here that have been bought for money that we can't even understand. Andy Carroll went for nearly double the amount that Liverpool have paid
More
for.
than
You
double.
see, even more than double the amount that Liverpool have paid for this. This is the same guy that was not even in the game against England. He was not in the match.
And he won
Scored the winning goal. I understand there's players out there that you just have to pay that money for. And to be honest with you, the one time he did get an assist, it so happened to be the winning goal. So, I'm telling you now, yeah, I'm upset that he's at Liverpool. I hope he doesn't score for the next 12 games.
Well, I'm hoping, being a Liverpool fan, that he scores on Sunday. Whether he starts or not, who knows? But now I'm happy we've got him. Now he's through the door. He can't not be happy. He's got a young family. What they've said, he's got a young family. He said that he knows the problems he's made. The mistakes he's made from originally was leaving the Premier League. Coming to Liverpool could be the fresh start. He knows it's almost his last chance. If he messes up at Liverpool, is another big club going to come in for him? I doubt it. So hopefully, this could be the Cantona moment. Hopefully he can come in and say, you know what? He said himself. Champions League at Inter Milan was not his own, which is a bit arrogant, but it's a good kind of arrogance. It wasn't my own. I want to win the Champions League Liverpool and it be my own. I want to lead them. That says
a lot to me.
He's obviously been told that he's going to be a significant player. So he's going to be a leader. Maybe that's just what he wanted.
You lost Suarez, you're crying out for a superstar.
Yeah.
Sturridge is a very, very good player, but he's not a superstar.
No.
Balotelli is potentially a superstar.
Well, we could have England's number 9 and Italy's number 9. Hopefully they'll both fire. But that's it for today's show. It's been a good one. Once again, make sure you tweet. Make sure you use our YouTube, use our Facebook. Let us know your views on everything we've spoken about today. Anything you want to speak to us about or want us to speak about, I should say, next week, you can add that in there as well. But that's it from us.
Good night.
Good night.